Time now for Hawk Zone, sponsored by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
A tough loss for the Seahawks, who have now dropped their second game in a row, this time losing 29-20 against the New York Giants. Terry Hollimon joins me in the Hawk Zone to break this one down. Sadly, not a win. We were expecting to win. I feel like most people were expecting us to win. So did we just overlook this Giants team?
Yeah, I don't know if we overlooked it. So I talked to a lot of NFL players over the years, and they'll always say from week to week, they don't even know who they're playing in the next game because they spend so much time preparing for this game, this week, this opponent, that they don't even know who's coming up. That being said, though, I think probably a few of these guys had this upcoming game on their mind because this week is a Thursday game. It's a short week. And we have to play our heated rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. So maybe a few guys had that game on their mind, but I think most of them were professionals about it and only thought about the Giants.
Okay, yeah, maybe they were thinking ahead a little. Okay, that makes sense.
Maybe.
It seemed like the Seahawks offense just really never got into a groove. Geno was under a ton of pressure. What do you think about his performance and the offense? Was this an O-line issue?
Well, you talk about this O-line, and it's been the Achilles heel of this team for a few years now, and it didn't get any better this year, obviously, because of the number of injuries that they have up front. And again, the game is really won and lost in the trenches, and this offensive line is kind of hodgepodge. You got guys that are hurt, guys that are missing, guys that are out, and they're kind of putting things together, trying to make them work. That being said, they're still professionals. They got to get out there and do their job. But Geno Smith got sacked 7 times, and so anytime you got your quarterback picking this up off the ground 7 times, it's not a good look. And they didn't do a really good job of getting Kenneth Walker involved in the game. Not only not early, but not at all. So it was tough. When you have your quarterback being Geno Smith being the leading rusher for the game for your team, it's not a good look.
That's what I was going to say, too. We only ran, I think it was 30 yards total.
Yep.
So can you explain maybe why they just stopped the run game? It felt like they abandoned it.
Yeah, not only did they not abandon it, they didn't even try it. I think, you have a running back like Kenneth Walker III, who's obviously one of the most exciting running backs in the league, one of the most elite running backs in the league. You got to utilize them. The Seahawks team is really, really good when they run the ball. I think what happened is they got away from their game plan. What this team is really about, running the ball first and foremost. I think they got away from that when the Giants got out ahead. They started feeling like they wanted and needed to throw the pass. But Mike McDonald came out this morning and said, we did a disservice to our running back, Kenneth Walker, by not giving the ball. So hopefully we won't see that again.
Yeah, and what was the problem, too, with our defense? Felt like we just couldn't stop the Giants, which I guess I was surprised about because I thought we were going to win this game. Yeah,
you look at the Giants, and not only were they not a very good team, but they were missing their top 2 productive offensive guys. Their running back was out. Their top receiver, Malik Neighbors, was out. But they had a guy come in there at the running back position who was a 5th-round draft pick, rookie, and went for 129 yards rushing. I think you got a lot of missed tackles.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you got a lot of guys that were out of position. It was strange for the Seahawks because we've been waiting for this team to be full strength defensively all year. We had a bunch of guys injured since the beginning of the season. We got a few of those guys back, and it was still a subpar performance. I think you got, when guys that have been missing, that are not in game mid-season form, I kind of think it puts a little pressure on these guys and they're not ready to go, possibly. But again, you just look at the guys missing tackles and just out of position.
Okay, so if you had to pick then, do you have a player of the game? Who was your player of the game?
And it's hard because you have a dud of a game like this to pick a player of the game. There's really not one, but if I had to pick one, it would have to be Jerome Baker. And I know a lot of people look at Rayshawn Jenkins and they say, this guy had a 101-yard fumble return, but he wouldn't have had this fumble return if it wasn't for Jerome Baker's incredible play at the goal line, knocking the ball free. When the Giants were going in for a score, they would have went up, again, 7 points. Jerome Baker makes that play and also made a bunch of good tackles during the game.
Okay, well, at least you have a player of the game, so I think that's a positive, Terry.
That's like being the tallest short guy in the room. Like, who wants to be the tallest short guy, right? What do you call that, oxymoron, a jumbo shrimp? Like, he's the best player on the worst team.
Okay, so the Seahawks, like you mentioned, we have a short week. We're playing 49ers this Thursday. What do we need to know about it?
Well, the 49ers are having a disappointing season, and they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. That's good, right?
Good.
We want our rivals to be having a disappointing season.
Good.
But that's good, but it's still bad because they still have great players. They still have George Kittle, who's one of the top tight ends in the country. Brendan Ayuk is coming off one of his best games of the season versus the Arizona Cardinals. And you know, they're still a solid team. They got good pieces. And they're looking for a win. And of course, they want to beat the Seahawks. They need a win really bad. They're 0-3 in the NFC, so it's a dangerous game. It's like when you back a raccoon up in the corner, they come out clawing, right? So this is a game that the Seahawks don't want to take for granted, and we definitely want to beat the 49ers.
What do you think I'm going to put you on the spot. Score? Do you have a score for the game?
Yeah, Seahawks lot, 49ers little. No, I don't know. Because again, if the Seahawks come out and play the way that they should play, with the way that the 49ers have been playing, it should be a W for the Seahawks. But it's a Thursday night football game, and I know normally you say any given Sunday anything can happen, but realistically, any given Thursday, anything can happen, and the Seahawks have not been traditionally very good on Thursday nights. But the Seahawks don't win.
They are going to win, okay? We're gonna make the change. Terry,
get that W.
As always, so much fun. Thank you for being here. I love talking the Hawks.
Yes.
And live MMA presented by Excite Fight is back at Muckleshoot. Experience the heart-pounding action Saturday, November 23rd as the Northwest's best fighters face off at Muckleshoot Event Center. And get your tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.